Thank you for that. The gentleman there with the glasses.
Hello, I'm very keen to see an ice rink built in the area because there is no ice rink in Hove, Sussex, not even in the immediate area south of Guildford. But I also appreciate, obviously, people want to keep the pool, so I was very interested in what Kevin Doran had to say about Cardiff, which seems to be a very good combination of a rink and a pool with the heat exchange. Perhaps you could expand on that a little bit to see if that would be a way of saving money to have the two facilities together.
Thank you for that. We'll come over to this side now, and we'll have Valerie and the gentleman at the back who spoke earlier.
Thank you. Valerie Painter from South Hove, who's been here before with carrots big time. And I can remember the district valuers report. I can almost state it verbatim. And the biggest problem was the planning brief and the fact that the council is going to get a free sports centre, which was just borderline unviable. And we've had two major developers founder on this business of getting a free sports centre. And I wonder how these two developers sitting here feel about their ability to cough up a free sports centre as well as enabling development, and what our MP thinks about getting the government to help the council to pay for it themselves, so that we don't have to have all that housing smashed across the front of the big population.
Good question.
Just very quickly about the 25, 50-metre pool aspect. I just don't want it to go the K2 way, whereas, you know, it's open for 8 minutes a year, actual 50-metre length, because the pontoons close it off. So if we do have a 50-metre pool, absolutely bring it on. Can we please make sure that it is open virtually the whole of the time as a 50-metre pool? I don't know, is it Sue? I don't know whether you'd agree with that, because it's pointless. It's a pointless facility if it's not open all the time.
Thank you for that. Lady in the balcony.
Sorry, so far I've heard none of the developers mention anything at all about the tremendous wind speeds that we do get right down on the seafront down there. Wind turbines?
I was going to ask one more person to, if you could bring the microphone down the front here, this gentleman here who hasn't spoken yet. I'm going to get all the people to sum up. So the gentleman there.
Well, what I've heard today I'm very happy about, because we're the Marlin Disabled Swimming Club. We've been at the King Alfred for the last 50 years, when it was the old pool and the new pool. You've spent money out on doing the changing rooms, and it suits ideal for disabled people to get into the pool. I don't think anybody will ever produce a better pool than what we've got. Just needs a bit of money on sorting out so we can have a hotter temperature in the pool. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I'd just like our panelists to quickly comment on all those points that are being brought up there. They're quite wide-ranging.
In no particular order, the numbers that we've done do show that. Yes, sorry. The numbers that we've done do show that it is possible to use residential and some commercial to enable the development of the leisure centre. And specifically, we think that can be done within 7 stories. So 7 stories is the same height as the other local housing. Parking in our scheme is underground, and I'll mention it just because I've heard it so often that I hear not very much what you're saying about the 50-metre pool. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm the right person to answer the question about the general Brighton housing stock.
I think we're managing aspirations. I have to go back to this point. And when we're talking, I mean, we've just seen a perfect example right now when 7 stories is mentioned and half the rooms jump back. And I mean, well, credit to Adrian at the beginning of the discussion actually showing a massing model because that often confuses people, because it's not actually what the design of the building should look like. It's a model that an architect will draw up to try and show what all of these masses together would look like if you just plop them on a site without any design. I think this really falls back to what the new emerging policy brief for the site is, and the reason why the new policy within the city plan actually gives us something better to work with, like Valerie pointed out actually, is because we can actually look at exploring moving the leisure off-site potentially, or moving potentially some of the housing off-site. Whatever it means we move off-site, it means that hopefully this site will remain at a sensible height. So I think I'm worried about getting too specific because we're not at that stage at the moment. I think the main thing is that we need to be sure that we're all taking everyone's views into account. But essentially, Hove Station is something that we feel completely speak about. It seems like a sensible option to relocate part of the leisure centre, potentially the wet or the dry, or all of it, or possibly some of the housing element as well. I think what we just need to try and find with the King Alfred per se, like we've done with the development brief, is the amount of homes that we need to build that will support what we aspire to have on the site. And that's the thing that we need to really look at. If we want 50-metre pool, we have to account for that within what we're planning to build, so that we can actually deliver a 50-metre pool. If we need something else, it may well be that 40% affordable housing is not the ratio we need. We might need 35%. The great thing about what we're trying to do is we bring it into the council's hands rather than send it out in a competition brochure for a developer to make their mind up about what they're going to do. It's something that hopefully we can decide on as the process moves forward.
The King Alfred site is the heart of Hove, and it's currently the sports centre of Hove. I just wanted to reiterate and clarify that the temporary ice rink structure is indeed a temporary plan for 3 years. If people could very kindly look on our website, kingalfredicerink.co.uk, you'll see the very realistic financials of how we actually gain revenue over the next 3 years. And in terms of the current situation with the swimming pool, let's incorporate all of it. The King Alfred ice rink, temporary ice rink structure doesn't encroach on any of the current facilities in the leisure centre. And I would say that people of all abilities, swimming's great, of course it is, but I for one am a bit more adventurous and I don't want to be excluded from ice skating just because of my disability. This is about bringing the community together through enhancing the King Alfred ice rink, through enhancing the King Alfred leisure centre by, if you like, a bolt-on facility, which is what the ice skating is providing. Thank you.
On the pool and disability issue, what we did in Cardiff was we had a long discussion about the design of the pool. And what we've built there is a 50-metre pool. It has 2 booms that drop at the push of a button and 2 floors that can be raised up to the surface of the water. So if you have a group of disabled people or very young children, you can lift the floor up to the top of the pool, take them on and drop it down to an appropriate depth so that they can learn to swim or swim safely. They don't keep the pool at 50 metres all day, but they do from 7:30 in the morning till 11:30 in the morning, which it's a compromise, but it's the balance. They keep it for those hours at 50 metres for the long distance swimmers, and for the rest of the time they raise the pools and raise the floors for schools, disabled groups and other users. It's a fantastic facility. It is operating at 100% capacity. As I say, opens at I think it opens at 6:30 in the morning, closes at 11:30 at night, and it's 100% full right throughout the day. Someone mentioned free sports centres. I don't think there is such a thing, and that's why I would really earnestly ask the local authority to make sure that they do get advice up front, so they're not buying a facility which is going to incur a huge subsidy for the rest of its life. It has to be a blend of commercial and leisure. It has to be a blend of sports facilities which cost money and generate money. I do know that bowling and ice rink are in the latter category. They both make money, and ice rink swimming pool doesn't. We haven't produced any schemes or any plans for this facility because I don't think it's had anything like sufficient input from the public, and I don't think it's had sufficient consideration as yet by the local authority. We would love to work with the local authority and offer our expertise to help them produce something which is affordable, and that's our offer should they like to take it up.
My intention today was to kick off a debate, but ultimately show Brighton and Hove Council that how we, the public, are passionate about having a development at the site, sports centre and some other facilities. We've had some interesting contributions here about it needs to be realistic and viable, and there must be some housing probably to pay for it, and it's all lovely contributions, and thank you for that. I can't say how grateful I am to all the panellists who've come today. They really have been fantastic. Certainly my staff, Rachel, Robert, Michael, Martin especially, who's done a lot of work on all this. It's been a lovely launch pad to this discussion. And of course the staff at the Hove Town Hall who've accommodated us so well. Thank you all for coming. All those people who would like to email me their suggestions as well, I'll make sure it's included in our submission to the council. And I look forward to seeing you all down there in a few years' time in a revamped facility. Thank you very much.